Here's a quick overview of lead lifecycle stages. So if you're using a CRM, often if you're in Salesforce, this would live on the lead object. If you're using HubSpot, this could be a contact stage, or you could also apply these to contact stages in Salesforce as well. So all these stages might look slightly different, but if you want to use this as a starter template, feel free to copy and paste it with your organization. Going from left to right in sequential order, we have the marketing lead, which is essentially any contact that you have in your system. Moving to that engage stage, where they start to engage with some of your content or some of your marketing material. Then marketing qualified. Somebody either hitting a qualified event, raising their hand saying that they want to talk to somebody in sales or learn more about your product. Then sales accepted, where a salesperson or a member of the sales team has accepted that lead and has often booked a meeting at that point in time. And then the most important stage for the lead lifecycle is a sales qualified lead. This is typically the event that you open up a sales opportunity, and we call this the closed one of marketing. Let's take a deeper dive into the entry criteria for lead lifecycle stages and show what it might take to move from one stage to the next. Starting sequentially at that marketing lead, there are really two methodologies you could have. If you're a little bit more advanced and have a more sophisticated system, or if you have a lot of volume that you really need to sift through, having a lead scoring model in place is going to be really important. We'll talk about what that means in a little bit. Or it may be beneficial for you to have a simple action-based entry criteria to move from one stage to the next. So this means one event or a handful of events that take place will move it from one stage to the next one. It doesn't necessarily take a combination of events to happen. Starting with marketing lead, this is really any contact that you have in your database. You could have an email, a phone number, a name. It doesn't necessarily mean that they've engaged with any of your content. It doesn't mean that they've raised their hand to talk to anybody. Often these come from list downloads, or they come from database transfers, or it's just a generic contact that you have in your system. If you're using a scoring methodology, you would want to say anywhere from the score of 0 to a score of X. You would determine what that criteria is to remain in that stage. Moving to a marketing engaged lead, these are leads that are engaging with your content. So they've downloaded a white paper, they've listened to a podcast, they've watched one of your videos or joined one of your webinars. They're engaging with your brand, they're engaging with your material, but not necessarily asking to be sold to or asking for more information. Marketing engaged leads give you an idea of a pool of people who may be more interested in your product or service, but might not be ready for a buying motion quite yet. If you're using a scoring methodology, this could often be a combination of website activity or content engagement, and you may set a threshold before you allow a lead to move into the marketing engaged lead status. Marketing qualified leads are the population that are very interested in your product or service or have even raised their hand to talk to sales. Typical ways leads get into the marketing qualified status are requesting a demo on your website, hitting enough engagement with your brand or content to where they score into this threshold, or they're reaching directly out to talk to somebody about your product or service. Marketing qualified leads are also typically a good population to hand off to SDRs or produce for salespeople, so they have a strong population of leads that have high buying intent that would be very likely to convert to the next step. Sales accepted lead is a very important stage in the lead lifecycle. This is the point in time where a salesperson often takes responsibility for the lead. Usually it's in way of a booked meeting on that salesperson's calendar. At this point, there's really no need to have a scoring methodology in place. It's typically an entry criteria based on a booked meeting or an understanding that the salesperson has taken responsibility of the lead and will work the lead until there's an opportunity. Sales qualified lead is the most important stage in the lead lifecycle process. This is the closed one of marketing. At this point in time, a salesperson has taken responsibility, they've had an introductory meeting with the potential customer, and they've opened up an opportunity because the customer wants to continue the discussion. For most organizations, the sales qualified lead stage would be a really good point in time to start measuring pipeline build and is the most important time to create an opportunity and see how much is going into your funnel.